Simply not true. Here's what I've learned after more than 25 years coaching, promoting, judging. Sure, hard work is required, but hard work by itself doesn't produce a competition physique. Okay? Hard work alone is not going to build that contest physique. But what does? Having a plan, having direction, having some clarity. And the biggest thing, and we're going to cover this, and I'm going to teach you how to do this, is to start training with weights, not just working out with weights. And this is where almost everybody gets lost. Everything today is going to come back to the fact that working out burns calories, but training builds physiques. Okay. And they're not the same thing. They're not the same thing. Working out is an activity, burns calories. Training is a planned, structured process with a specific goal. Bodybuilders don't train to get tired. They train to create an adaptation and build a better physique. That's a huge difference. Every mistake I'm going to show you today comes from confusing those two ideas. Today, I'm going to teach you how to train like a physique competitor instead of simply working out like everyone else, like those 250 or 300 people that will walk through the front door of my gym every Monday. One of the first mistakes is kind of like this, a GPS unit on your computer. You pull up Google Maps, Apple Maps, pull it up on your phone. You have to put in a destination, right? You have to set the goal. Imagine getting into your car, starting the engine, driving it around for hours and hours, burning gas, wearing out your tires, and then wondering why you never arrived anywhere. That's exactly how most people exercise. They go to the gym because it's Monday. In fact, like Mondays are the busiest day in a gym. Highest traffic count, highest number of member check-ins, just because it's Monday. They randomly pick some exercises. Maybe they sweat, maybe they don't. They feel like they accomplished something because they were there, and they don't. They never ask the most important question. What adaptation am I trying to create? Again, what's the goal? We're going to get in the car. We're going to open the GPS. We need to set a destination. We need to define where we're going. As a physique competitor, every workout should have a purpose. Am I trying to bring up my shoulders? What about my glutes, my back, hamstrings? Every exercise, every set, every rep should move closer to the goal. If your workouts are random, your physique will be random. This is one of the things I see all of the time. Oftentimes, there's nothing connected with this approach to training. There's certainly nothing measured. There's nothing progressing because, well, it's random and we're not measuring anything. The person working out this way sure stays busy, feels like they accomplished something because they go to the gym a few days a week, but they're not getting any closer to their competition physique. And then they move on to the next mistake. And I'm not looking to throw stones at anybody. These pictures are pictures from my gym that I used to own, and our small group, our semi-private, and our large group are what some of you might call team training workouts. Boot camps, group fitness, group X, small group, large group, whatever label we put on it, 4 to 6 clients in a pod or 18 to 22 clients in a much larger pod, boot camp environment. These are designed for the average participant. Bodybuilding's not average. Physique competition's not average. Every competitor is going to have different strengths, different weaknesses, different recovery abilities, different requirements for their category or division. If 20 women are all doing the exact same workout, they're not all building the physique that they individually need. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying boot camp, large group, small group, any of that is bad. It's a fantastic way to train. It's great for overall health and wellness. There are people I signed up to do small group and large group training in the gym I used to own that I sold in 2019. I signed people up in 2012 14 years ago. They're still doing group training. It's a great way to train. It's just, if your goal is to build a stage worthy physique, this is not the path. And again, I had 150, 200 people every month that did this type of training with us. They did not build stage worthy physiques. They didn't look like a bodybuilder. Group workouts can't solve those individual problems. You can't be in an environment where everyone is doing the same exercise, the same sets, the same reps, the same weight, doing the exercise for the same amount of time, and then resting the same amount of time, and expect to get your individual needs satisfied. And that leads into one of our next mistakes. And this might be one of the most important lessons you hear from me. And I'll fill this with some personal examples. Every exercise needs to have an intended adaptation. Like, the goal of every exercise, if you're looking to be a physique competitor, is what? Larger muscles, right? Larger muscles. Sit back, I flip over the ball. And the guys that were all about the Swiss ball dumbbell bench press, like, whoa, hey, you got to use less weight, less weight, less weight. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. Yeah, but if you don't use less weight, you won't be able to bounce on the ball and blah. I'm like, you guys don't understand. My goal is to build bigger muscles. It's not to work on my balance. If I want to work on balance, I'll do balance training separate. So you have to remember, if the goal is hypertrophy, you can't train in a way that reduces the amount of weight you can train with, that reduces the training intensity and shifts the focus to things like balance. There's nothing wrong with training for balance, but balance isn't going to be measured on the physique contest stage. Less weight, less mechanical tension, less potential for muscle growth. Doesn't mean the exercise is bad. It's simply the wrong tool for the goal. Great training is never about how hard the exercise is. But I wanted to use that example to really make the point. What's going to build a bigger muscle? Squatting with your body weight or a few hundred pounds? Obviously, the few hundred pounds. And this mistake here costs competitors a lot of muscle mass. Just because you worked hard doesn't mean you built muscle, right? Just because you leave the gym tired doesn't mean you're going to have a stage-worthy physique. This is a great example as well. You can't judge a workout by how much you sweat. So we used to have spin classes in my club, and we had a dedicated spin room. And the back wall of the spin room was windows, and people from the general area in the fitness areas of the gym could see into the spin room. And we had a guy named Bill, and the members affectionately named him Back Row Bill. Bill would do the spin class, and we could see through the window, and Bill would always be in the back row right by the windows, hardly pedaling. Like, the instructor would be up front, headset on, over the loudspeaker, music pumping. All right, everybody stand up. All right, everybody sprint. Back row Bill would be just sitting, barely moving his feet on the pedals. Bill would come out of that room drenched, soaked. It looked like he showered with his clothes on. I mean, oh, look at how much I sweat. That workout was incredible. This is great. Whatever. Well, the reality of it is that room was closed off. You had 20 people in there producing a ton of BTUs because of exercise. The room temperature, the ambient temperature in the room would go up from, say, 70-ish degrees Fahrenheit up to maybe 80 some degrees, 90 degrees. And Bill would be the benefactor sitting there in his cotton shorts and cotton t-shirt soaked in sweat just because it was hot. So sweat's not a marker of progress. Even if Bill was working hard, sweat is not a marker of progress. Another one is, I could really feel the burn, right? My muscles are on fire. I got a great pump. My heart rate monitor shows my heart rate was way up here. Those things are not necessarily bad, but we want bigger muscle, and we want to look at it as better is best. Just because you sweat more means nothing. None of these things tell me you stimulated your muscle in a way that you gave it the signal to grow. They tell me you worked hard, but those are two completely different things. If